There's a reason why broken souls always find their way to a Scorpio. It's not luck, it's not coincidence. It's energy, deep, magnetic, ancient energy. And most Scorpios don't even realize they've been chosen by the universe for this silent mission to be the mirror, the healer, and sometimes the lesson. If you've ever wondered why people with chaos in their hearts seem drawn to you, why every relationship starts with intensity and ends with exhaustion, or why your love feels like both medicine and poison, then this message is for you. Because you, Scorpio, are not just a lover, you are the emotional alchemist of the zodiac. You turn wounds into wisdom, darkness into transformation. But here's the truth that few dare to say aloud: the very energy that makes you powerful also makes you a magnet for pain. You attract the broken because you understand them. You recognize their silence, their survival, their secret storms. You've walked through your own fire, and they can feel that without a single word. To them, your presence feels like home. To you, it often feels like déjà vu, another soul to save, another cycle to repeat. But this is not punishment, it's initiation. A spiritual test disguised as love, friendship, or destiny. And until you learn what your energy truly means, you'll keep meeting the same wounded hearts, different faces, same vibration over and over again. So today we go deeper. As a longtime researcher of Scorpio energy, I'll take you beyond the cliches, beyond the zodiac memes, into the real spiritual mechanics of why this happens, and more importantly, how you can finally stop absorbing pain that isn't yours to carry. Because awareness is the beginning of freedom. And once you understand these 10 reasons, you'll never see your connections the same way again. You'll stop asking, why do I attract broken people? And start asking, what part of me is still trying to heal them? Have you ever felt like you were born to fix others even when it slowly breaks you? Comment below if this resonates with you. Let's begin. Reason 1. Their energy feels like home to the broken. People who carry deep wounds can sense a Scorpio long before words are spoken. It's in the way you look at them, steady, unflinching, like you see everything they've tried to hide. Your silence says, you don't have to pretend with me. And for someone who's been faking, I'm fine, their whole life, that's irresistible. Scorpio energy feels like home to the broken, not because it's peaceful, but because it's familiar. Pain recognizes pain. Your soul vibrates at a frequency that whispers, I've been through the fire too. And they feel that instantly. It's not about beauty or charm. It's about energetic recognition, a magnetic pull between two survivors who unconsciously mirror each other's scars. Many Scorpios notice a strange pattern. People open up to you instantly, sometimes within minutes of meeting you. Strangers tell you secrets they've never told anyone. They cry in your presence without knowing why. They say things like, I don't know what it is about you, but I feel safe. What they really mean is your energy feels like a sanctuary. But here's the paradox, you Scorpio, mistake their comfort for connection. Because you see their pain, you believe you're meant to heal it. Because they trust you, you think the universe sent them to you for a reason. And in a way, it did. Just not the reason you think. In spiritual psychology, this is called energetic familiarity, a resonance between souls who share similar unhealed wounds. You attract what you've transcended, but not yet mastered. So when someone broken clings to you, it's not always destiny. Sometimes it's a mirror reminding you of a chapter you still need to close. Take, for example, Ryan Gosling, a Scorpio known for his quiet intensity. In interviews, he often describes being drawn to troubled roles and people who live in emotional extremes because he understands that energy. His calm hides storms, just like the souls he attracts. It's not coincidence, it's vibration. Scorpios have this therapeutic presence, a natural counselor's aura, but few realize how heavy it becomes when everyone you meet hands you their pain to hold. You become the emotional safe house of every person who's lost their way. and before long you're carrying more than your share of ghosts. But here's the truth. Scorpio, you were never meant to be everyone's healer. You were meant to be the catalyst, the one who awakens others to their own healing. There's a difference between holding space for someone's pain and building your home inside it. Life lesson: you are not a rescue mission. You are a revelation. Your power doesn't lie in fixing others, it lies in showing them that transformation is possible because you have done it. Remember, love doesn't always mean saving. Sometimes true love is simply witnessing someone's darkness without letting it swallow your light. Have you ever felt that people unload their pain on you because you feel safe? Comment below if this has ever happened to you. Let's move to the next reason. Because understanding this pattern could change the way you love forever. Reason 2. They see beyond masks. You've probably noticed this Scorpio people get nervous when you look at them for too long. Not because your gaze is cold, but because it's honest. You don't just see faces, you see intentions. You don't just hear words, you feel the vibration beneath them. And that's exactly what draws broken souls to you and terrifies them at the same time. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of truth, death, and rebirth. That means you were born with a radar for authenticity. You can sense when someone's smiling, but suffering when someone's confident, but crumbling inside. To you, deception feels loud, like static. You can't ignore it, even if you try. For people who are hiding pain, your presence feels like exposure. You see the cracks in their armor before they do. And for many of them, that's intoxicating because for the first time, they don't have to perform. They don't have to pretend they're okay. You look at them and say, "I see you." And that's something the wounded crave more than love itself, to be truly seen. But here's where it gets dangerous. Seeing beyond the mask doesn't mean you're supposed to wear it for them. Many Scorpios mistake empathy for obligation. They think, if I understand them this deeply, maybe I'm meant to save them. But seeing someone's truth doesn't make you responsible for it. It only means your intuition works, not that you must suffer for it. Think of Katy Perry, another Scorpio soul. Throughout her career, she's been drawn to people and causes filled with pain and rebellion because she recognizes their inner chaos. Her music often tells the story of finding light in darkness, of loving those who've lost themselves. That's classic Scorpio, loving so deeply that you forget boundaries until you're left empty. Spiritually, this X-ray vision of Scorpio isn't meant to fix others, it's meant to protect you. The universe gave you this gift so you could discern who deserves access to your heart. Not so you'd spend your life healing those who haven't chosen healing for themselves. You can love someone's potential and still accept their reality. You can understand their trauma and still walk away when it begins to destroy your peace. Because knowing someone's truth doesn't mean you owe them your energy, it means you've fulfilled your cosmic purpose awareness. Scorpios often say, "I just knew something was off," and they're usually right. That intuition isn't paranoia, it's guidance. It's the universe whispering, don't lose yourself trying to save someone who's not ready to be seen. Life lesson: the ability to see beyond masks is sacred, but not everyone you reveal deserves to stay. Your intuition is a light, not a leash. Don't let empathy become your prison. You were born to witness truth, not drown in it. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt their pain before they even spoke? Comment below if you've ever had that experience. Because the next reason will go even deeper. It's about why your intensity makes people fall in love, even when they're not ready for it. Reason 3, their intensity feels like love to the wounded. When a Scorpio loves, they don't do it halfway. There's no, maybe no, let's see where it goes. You love like it's sacred, like it's the last thing on earth worth believing in. And for someone who's been starved of real affection, that intensity feels like oxygen. It feels like home. To a wounded soul, Scorpio's passion feels like healing. It's magnetic, consuming, and raw, the kind of energy that makes someone feel alive again after years of emotional numbness. They mistake your depth for destiny, your attention for salvation. But what they don't realize is that this energy, this emotional hurricane, is not meant to fill their void. It's meant to awaken their soul. An awakening is never comfortable. Scorpio's love feels like being reborn in fire. You make people face their shadows, their fears, their secrets. You force them to feel what they have avoided, and that's why they both crave you and fear you. To them, your presence feels like medicine, but to you, it often feels like bleeding. Because when you give that much intensity, you begin to absorb their chaos, the trauma they never processed, the pain they never spoke of. You think love can cleanse it, but love cannot heal what refuses to be seen. And so you end up carrying the emotional residue of everyone who's ever touched your heart. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio, a Scorpio known for his intensity in love and art. He dives into every role, every relationship with complete immersion. People are drawn to that flame, but they rarely realize how much it costs to burn that bright. That's the Scorpio paradox. The same intensity that heals others often exhausts you. In relationships, damaged souls interpret Scorpio's focus as proof of destiny. They say, "No one has ever looked at me like that." They confuse intensity with safety, passion with permanence. But Scorpio's energy isn't a promise, it's a mirror. It shows people who they truly are beneath their survival masks. And sometimes when they see themselves clearly for the first time, they run. Spiritually, this dynamic happens because Scorpio's vibration is transformative. Your energy doesn't comfort the ego, it confronts it. You are the cosmic invitation to evolve. And while some souls rise, others retreat. Life lesson, Scorpio. Your intensity is not too much. It's medicine, but not everyone is ready for that dosage. Don't dim your fire to keep someone comfortable in their darkness. Love deeply, yes, but remember, real love doesn't demand your self-destruction. Sometimes the bravest act of love is letting go before you lose yourself trying to prove your worth. Have you ever felt like your love scared someone away, not because it was wrong, but because it was real? Comment below if this resonates with you, because in the next reason we'll uncover why your empathy becomes a magnet for emotional chaos and how to protect your energy without closing your heart. Reason 4, their empathy draws in chaos. There's a strange thing about Scorpio empathy. It's not soft, it's fierce. It doesn't just feel what others feel, it absorbs it. You don't just sense awareness, you carry it. You don't just understand pain, you internalize it until it becomes your own. And that's exactly why the broken are drawn to you like moths to a flame. Your empathy is magnetic because it's authentic. You don't offer sympathy from a distance. You enter someone's storm and try to find light inside it. You listen without judgment. You hold space for emotions most people can't handle. You say things like, "I get it," and you mean it because you've walked through the same darkness. But that deep empathy is also your double-edged sword. When you carry someone else's energy too long, it begins to feel like your own. You start feeling tired for no reason. You pick up sadness that isn't yours. You replay their stories in your dreams, and without realizing it, you've become the emotional sponge of everyone who's ever cried in your arms. That's why damaged souls feel safe around you. You don't resist their chaos, you absorb it. They mistake that absorption for understanding, and you mistake their relief for love. But here's the truth. Scorpio empathy without boundaries isn't compassion, it's self-destruction. Look at Winona Ryder, a Scorpio whose energy seems to carry the sorrow of an entire generation. Her eyes always look like they've seen too much. Her roles, full of heartbreak, mystery, and resilience, reflect that emotional depth. People feel seen through her, but behind that gift is exhaustion, the kind that comes from feeling everything too deeply. Spiritually, this is called energetic transference, the unseen exchange that happens when you merge your aura with someone else's pain. Healers and empaths experience this all the time. Scorpio just feels it tenfold because your energy operates in the realm of the soul, not the surface. You connect at frequencies most people don't even know exist. So how do you protect yourself without losing your heart? By remembering that you can care without carrying. You can feel someone's pain without becoming their pain. You can guide someone toward healing without walking into their fire. Your empathy is a divine gift, but even sacred gifts need sacred limits. Life lesson, empathy, without boundaries turns love into chaos. You are not required to drown in someone else's emotions to prove your care. Protecting your energy is not coldness, it's self-respect. The universe didn't send you to absorb everyone's darkness, Scorpio. It sent you to teach others how to find their own light. Have you ever felt emotionally drained after being around someone as if their sadness stayed inside you long after they left? Comment below if this has happened to you, because in the next reason we'll explore why your loyalty keeps you stuck in toxic cycles long after you should have walked away. Reason 5. Their loyalty keeps them in toxic cycles. When a Scorpio commits, they don't walk halfway through the fire. They walk until there's nothing left but ashes. To love a Scorpio is to be seen completely. To be a Scorpio is to love until it hurts, and sometimes long after it should have ended. That's the paradox of your loyalty. It's your crown and your curse. When others give up, you hold on. When they leave, you stay. Not because you're naive, but because you believe in transformation. You believe people can change. You believe your love can be the catalyst that wakes them up. But Scorpio, here's the hard truth. Some souls are not meant to change with you. Some are meant to teach you when to stop trying. Your loyalty often traps you in cycles with damaged souls who don't want healing, they want refuge. They love your strength because it shields their weakness. They depend on your passion because it hides their emptiness. And you mistake that dependency for destiny. You tell yourself, they just need more time, more patience, more love. But the more you give, the less of yourself remains. It's not that your love isn't powerful, it's that it's sacred. And sacred things aren't meant to be wasted on those who refuse to rise. Think of Matthew McConaughey, a Scorpio, whose loyalty to his craft made him endure years of typecasting before he reinvented himself. He stayed loyal to his vision even when others couldn't see it. That's Scorpio energy, unwavering, relentless. But in love, that same loyalty can turn into self-sabotage. You end up proving your worth to someone who doesn't even recognize their own. Spiritually, loyalty is a test of discernment, not endurance. It's not about how long you can stay, it's about who deserves your staying. The universe doesn't reward you for suffering in someone else's chaos. It rewards you for knowing when the lesson is complete. Scorpio souls often think walking away is betrayal, but sometimes walking away is the most honest act of love because it says, I won't participate in your self-destruction anymore. Remember, you are a fixed water sign, deep, consistent, emotional. Your loyalty is divine. But even divine things become dangerous when misplaced. Life lesson. Your loyalty is a gift, not a chain. Stop proving your love to people who only understand pain. You are not meant to die in every fire you walk into. You are meant to rise from it. Let loyalty serve your evolution, not your destruction. Have you ever stayed in a relationship long after you knew it was over, just because you couldn't stand to see someone fall apart? Comment below if you've ever been that Scorpio, because the next reason reveals why your desire to transform others often turns into a spiritual burden you were never meant to carry. Reason 6. Their desire to transform others becomes a spiritual burden. Scorpio was never meant to love lightly, and that's both the blessing and the burden. Your nature is transformation. You don't just enter someone's life, you change it. You tear down the illusions, break the walls, and bring truth to the surface even when it hurts. But what happens when the person you're trying to transform refuses to rise with you? That's when love turns into a spiritual weight. Most Scorpios carry what I call the savior imprint. You meet someone broken, and your first instinct isn't to run, it's to rebuild. You see potential where others see chaos. You feel purpose where others see danger. And deep down you think, if I can help them heal, maybe I'll finally prove that my pain had meaning. But that's the illusion, the karmic trap that keeps you repeating the same emotional cycles. You weren't sent here to save others, Scorpio. You were sent to inspire transformation, not enforce it. Healing is a choice, not a rescue. And every time you try to fix someone who hasn't chosen growth, you take on their karma. You start feeling emotions that aren't yours. You carry their fear, their guilt, their past, until your own light feels dimmer. Look at Joaquin Phoenix, a Scorpio, who has spent his entire career channeling darkness into art. He embodies transformation through loss, pain, and rebirth. But even he has admitted the cost how deeply the characters he plays affect his spirit. That's the Scorpio path, walking through darkness to find meaning, but sometimes forgetting to come back to the light. Spiritually, the universe gives you this magnetism for transformation so you can awaken souls not to lose yourself in them. You are the phoenix, not the fire that consumes others. Your energy teaches people that healing is possible, but they must choose it. You can open the door, but you cannot walk them through it. The reason you attract damaged souls is because you carry the vibration of rebirth. They sense subconsciously that being near you could save them, but that's not your job, it's their initiation. Your role is to embody healing, not to deliver it on demand. Life lessons, Scorpio. You can't transform someone who isn't ready. You can love them, pray for them, even show them the path, but you cannot walk it for them. You are not the cure for their pain. You are the mirror that reveals it. And that's how your soul fulfills its purpose, not through saving others, but through protecting your peace as you grow. Have you ever felt like you carried someone's emotional pain as if it were your own just because you wanted to see them heal? Comment below if that sounds like you, because in the next reason we'll explore why your silence becomes both your protection and your prison, and how it affects the kind of souls you attract. Reason 7. Their silence protects them, but also traps them. Scorpio's silence is legendary. It's not coldness, it's survival. When life has burned you enough times, you learn that silence becomes your safest armor. You stop explaining, stop proving, stop begging to be understood. You retreat into your emotional fortress, and from there, you observe everything. Every lie, every shift in energy, every unspoken truth. That silence is powerful. It protects your energy from chaos. It allows you to read people without revealing yourself. It's the reason you always know when something is wrong, even when everyone else is fooled. But there's a hidden cost to that strength. The same silence that protects you also isolates you. Because damaged souls, those searching for healing, often mistake your quiet for safety. They think, this person won't judge me. They'll listen, they'll understand, and they're right, but only halfway. What they don't realize is that while you're absorbing their pain, you rarely share your own. You become their emotional confessional, the one who listens, heals, and carries, but you're left empty, unheard, and unseen. You've built walls so high to protect yourself that love sometimes can't reach over them, and yet people still climb because they can feel what's behind those walls, a depth that promises redemption. Your silence becomes their refuge, but for you, it becomes a cage. Ryan Reynolds. Another Scorpio soul once said in an interview, I deal with anxiety quietly, I joke, I smile, I function, but inside I'm still processing everything. That's Scorpio energy, graceful on the surface, but battling entire universes behind calm eyes. People feel your composure and assume you're unshakable. They unload their storms onto you, unaware that you're already carrying your own. Spiritually, silence is Scorpio's sacred space, the temple where transformation happens. But even sacred spaces need light. If you stay silent too long, your emotions begin to echo inside you, turning protection into imprisonment. Your strength becomes a story no one ever gets to hear. So yes, your silence attracts damaged souls because it feels peaceful, but that peace often hides unspoken wars. You give others the calm they crave while denying yourself the voice you need. Life lesson: your silence is your shield, Scorpio. But even shields must rest. You don't have to carry your storms alone to prove your strength. Speak your truth even softly because your voice heals you. Protecting your peace shouldn't mean abandoning your expression. Remember, your vulnerability is not weakness, it's wisdom in motion. Have you ever held so much inside that people thought you were fine while you were quietly breaking? Comment below if that resonates with you. Because the next reason reveals why your strength, the very thing that makes you unbreakable, also makes you irresistible to the broken. Reason 8. Their strength makes the broken feel safe. Scorpio has a strength that can't be faked, the kind that doesn't shout but radiates quietly like a pulse under the skin. When you walk into a room, people feel it, that steady, grounded energy that says, "I've been through worse and I'm still standing." To a damaged soul, that strength feels like salvation. It feels like shelter from the storms they've never learned to survive. You see, most broken souls have lived in instability, emotional chaos, betrayal, abandonment. Then you appear calm, mysterious, unshakable. Your energy says you can rest now. And they do. They lean on you. They tell you things they've never said aloud. They start to rebuild their identity inside the walls of your strength. But what begins as admiration quickly becomes dependence. Because the stronger you appear, the more they believe they don't have to be. They hand you their pain, their fear, their responsibility, and without noticing, you begin carrying their world on your back. Their comfort becomes your exhaustion. Their peace becomes your silence. Scorpio, your strength is magnetic because it's been forged in suffering. You've survived heartbreak, betrayal endings that would have destroyed others, and that survival energy becomes a beacon, a signal to lost souls saying, "Here, I'll keep you safe." But strength, when misunderstood, becomes a trap. You become the pillar that holds everyone up until you collapse quietly because no one thought the pillar could fall. Take Anne Hathaway, a Scorpio known for her emotional endurance. She's spoken about how deeply she connects with others' emotions, how she carries empathy like armor, graceful, steady, composed. But even she admitted the toll of always being the strong one. Sometimes strength hides exhaustion. Spiritually, your power is divine, but divinity was never meant to be one-sided. The universe didn't make you strong so others could depend on you endlessly. It made you strong so you could show them that they too can rise from their pain. Your role isn't to be the foundation for broken people, it's to remind them they can build their own. Because here's the truth. The broken don't fall in love with your strength. They fall in love with what your strength makes them feel. They feel safe, secure, protected. But if you're not careful, you'll confuse being needed with being loved. Life lesson: your strength is sacred, Scorpio, but it's not meant to be everyone's shelter. Let others admire your resilience, not rely on it to survive. Being strong doesn't mean carrying the world. It means knowing when to set it down. Protect your power because it's the very light that draws people to you, and without it, you'll have nothing left to give. Have you ever felt like everyone comes to you when they're broken but disappears when they're healed? Comment below if that resonates with your soul. Because the next reason uncovers why your mysterious aura ignites both love and fear, and why damaged souls can't stop chasing the parts of you they'll never fully understand. Reason 9. Their mystery awakens both love and fear. There's something about Scorpio that no one can fully explain, that quiet intensity, that unreadable calm, that feeling that you know more than you ever say. It's magnetic and unnerving all at once. People feel drawn to you yet terrified by what they might discover if they get too close. And for damaged souls, people who carry shame, guilt, or emotional shadows, your mystery isn't just attractive, it's transformative. Your presence feels like a spiritual mirror. It reflects what others hide, what they fear, what they bury. You don't expose them, you simply exist, and suddenly the marks start to fall. That's the Scorpio power. Your silence makes people confront their truth. And while some find that healing, others find it unbearable. Scorpio energy is ruled by Pluto, the planet of the underworld, death and rebirth. This gives you an aura of depth, of mystery, of ancient wisdom. People sense that you understand pain on a cellular level. They can feel that you've been through things that changed you forever, and that mystery draws them in like moths to a sacred flame. But once they get close, they realize your light exposes everything they tried to keep hidden. For someone unhealed, that's terrifying. They start to pull away, accuse you of being too intense, not realizing it's their own reflection that scares them. Your mystery doesn't confuse them, it awakens them. It triggers the part of them that still resists truth. This is why so many people fall in love with Scorpio, but few can stay. You show them parts of themselves they didn't know existed. You awaken their soul, yes, but awakening isn't easy. It requires destruction before peace. And not everyone is brave enough to burn their illusions. Look at Keanu Reeves, a Scorpio soul whose mystery has fascinated the world for decades. He doesn't speak loudly or share everything, but when he does, it's profound. His aura carries grief, compassion, and calm strength. People project their fantasies onto him because mystery gives them space to imagine, but few see the burden behind that silence, being misunderstood by those who only see fragments of who you are. Spiritually, Scorpio's mystery is sacred. It protects your energy and creates transformation around you, but it also attracts those who crave depth without realizing that depth demands surrender. You're the ocean they want to swim in until they realize how deep it really goes. Life lesson: your mystery is not a mask, it's your nature. But remember, Scorpio, not everyone who's drawn to your darkness is ready for your light. Some will mistake your depth for danger. Some will fall in love with the fantasy, not the truth. Don't chase those who fear your essence. The right souls won't be scared of your mystery, they'll honor it. Have you ever felt someone fall for the idea of you only to retreat once they saw your truth? Comment below if that's ever happened to you, because the final reason will reveal the ultimate truth of all why Scorpio's purpose in attracting the broken isn't a curse, but a divine calling in disguise. Reason 10. Their soul's mission is to heal through contrast, the divine calling behind the pain. Scorpio, you were never meant to live an easy life. You were meant to live a meaningful one. You came to this world carrying ancient wisdom in your bones. That's why you feel everything more deeply, love more fiercely, and fall more completely than others. But here's the secret the universe hid inside your pain. You attract damaged souls not as punishment, but as preparation. Your soul chose contrast as its teacher. You needed to see the darkness in others so you could recognize the light within yourself. You needed to feel betrayal to learn boundaries, to experience heartbreak, to discover divine detachment, to be broken open so your compassion could become unconditional. Every person you met, every wounded soul that clung to you was part of that sacred curriculum. They didn't come to destroy you, they came to refine you. Their chaos taught you clarity. Their lies taught you truth. Their emptiness taught you that you were already whole. Scorpio's spiritual mission is not to save the world, it's to understand it from the inside out. You were built to walk through emotional underworlds and come back with wisdom others can't find. That's why you survive things that would shatter most people. You were never fragile, you were forged. But transformation always comes with a cost. You've learned to hold pain like prayer, to turn your scars into sacred symbols, to turn endings into beginnings. That's what makes you magnetic. Your soul remembers resurrection. Every time you die emotionally, you are reborn, stronger, wiser, more luminous. Look at Whoopi Goldberg, a Scorpio, who turned tragedy and rejection into humor, strength, and insight. She doesn't deny pain, she transforms it. That's the Scorpio blueprint alchemy. Through suffering, purpose. Through contrast. You're not a victim of the energy you attract, you're the master of it. Spiritually, the universe uses you as a vessel to show others that healing isn't clean or pretty, it's raw, messy, and divine. You teach people that destruction can be sacred, that sometimes losing everything is how we find ourselves. You turn poison into power, and that's why the broken come to you. Their souls recognize yours as a mirror of transformation. Life lesson: you were never meant to carry the pain of others, you were meant to transmute it. Your soul's power lies not in avoiding darkness, but in walking through it with light. The universe didn't curse you with broken souls. It trusted you with them because you know how to rise. So the next time you ask, why do I always attract the wounded? Remember this: you attract them because you are proof that healing is real. You are the phoenix, the living embodiment of rebirth. Have you ever realized that every person who hurt you actually pushed you closer to your awakening? Comment below if you feel that truth in your spirit. Because up next, we'll close with the message: Scorpio souls were born to hear the lesson that turns pain into wisdom and endings into enlightenment. Closing message: the sacred lesson of Scorpio's journey. Now that you've seen the truth behind your magnetism, Scorpio, you understand why your life has never been simple, why people are drawn to you only to leave when the intensity becomes too much, why your love feels like both heaven and hell, and why you always seem to attract those who need healing when all you've ever wanted is peace. But here's the revelation: you weren't born to live a peaceful life, you were born to bring peace to chaos, and that's what you've been doing all along, even when it hurt. Every broken soul you've ever met was a reflection of the healing you already carry within. They came to remind you of your strength, your resilience, your ability to love in the face of darkness. The pain they left behind wasn't a punishment, it was a mirror. It showed you the parts of yourself that still needed compassion. You see, Scorpio, your power was never in how much you could endure. It was in how much you could transform. You turn endings into beginnings, heartbreak into clarity, and loneliness into wisdom. That's what makes you divine. While others fear the dark, you walk through it not to escape it, but to understand it. That's the essence of your soul's enlightenment. Spiritually, this is what Buddhists call the path of transmutation. It's the sacred art of turning pain into awakening, and you, Scorpio, embody that path without even trying. You show the world that light doesn't always mean purity. Sometimes light is the flame that survived the fire. You attract the broken because your energy whispers, I've been there, I've felt that, and I survived. That's why people confide in you, love you, fear you, and never forget you. Because your soul leaves fingerprints on theirs, not through words, but through energy, through presence, through truth. But the time has come for you to remember something important. You are not the healer of others. You are the guardian of your own evolution. You don't owe anyone your energy. You don't have to set yourself on fire to light someone else's path. Healing doesn't mean carrying, it means releasing. And real love doesn't mean saving, it means seeing clearly and choosing peace. So tonight, if you're watching this and your heart feels heavy, breathe. Forgive yourself for the times you gave too much. Forgive yourself for loving the broken until you broke. Because even in those moments, you were never wrong. You were simply living out your sacred role, the alchemist of emotion, the phoenix of transformation, the soul who teaches through example. And now your next chapter begins not as the healer of others, but as the one who finally heals themselves. Your energy will no longer be a magnet for chaos, but a lighthouse for those who are ready to rise. You'll still attract souls, but now they'll come to learn not to take. Final life lesson. Scorpio, your pain had purpose. Every heartbreak was a portal. Every ending was a cleansing. You didn't lose yourself in love, you found your truth through it. The universe never punished you, it prepared you. You were never cursed with intensity, you were crowned with depth. So, walk forward with peace in your heart. Because now you no longer need to rescue others to feel worthy, you already are. You are the embodiment of rebirth, the living proof that light can rise from shadow, and the world needs that, not your sacrifice, but your presence. If this message found you tonight, it's not by accident. It's the universe's way of saying you're done attracting pain. It's time to attract purpose. Type in the comments, I release what's not mine, and I rise again. Because when a Scorpio chooses peace over pain, the whole universe shifts with them. And remember, this is the path to Buddhist wisdom. Subscribe. Stay and walk with me on this journey of healing and awakenings. Your next transformation begins right now.